Hi kids, it's Mom here. Let's give a little life update. I have changed quite literally everything about myself. Feels like 100 times over now. And I'm probably gonna keep doing so until the day that I die. I don't ever want to reach my final form. That doesn't really excite me. And it's not because I'm indecisive or I don't know who I am. I know who I am. At my core, that never changes. I am just deeply inspired by everything that I experience in life. Friends, community, traveling, experiences, all the different careers that I've been in and that I'm going to do. Everything that I experience, I allow it to have a profound impact on me. And I allow my physical aesthetic, my body, my personality to reflect the impact that life has on me. I'm not afraid of change because I know that my core is so grounded. The way that I have stayed grounded, and the reason I feel so safe to travel, explore, and change all these things about me all the time, is honestly because of the people I keep around me. I have the most genuine friendships. I could literally cry thinking about the amazing people that I have in my life. They embrace me and accept me for who I am. And sure, sometimes there's misunderstanding, judgment. It's human to human relationships, it gets complicated. But at the end of the day, I know that my community, my best friends, they have my back. And they see me. They really see me for who I am. Make sure that you keep good people in your life. I don't know at what point you're going to be watching this. Maybe you're still young and maybe you haven't found your people yet. Do not stress out about it. When I was younger, I did not have my people either. And it really scared me, honestly. It was a constant loop in my head. The fear that I would never find my people, it was like this looming black cloud over me. I felt so isolated and alone. And then I realized that the reason I didn't have my people around me was because I was too afraid to actually show up as my authentic self. I was constantly judging and denying myself my passions and the things that I liked because I wanted to fit in. But what the fuck does fitting in even mean? Like, what does that mean? Nothing that we perceive is actually reality. But for example, when I was younger, fitting in to me meant being popular, going to parties, drinking, smoking, doing things that I honestly didn't want to do. There's nothing wrong with drinking and smoking, but I think you'll know in yourself if you're doing it because you want to have fun or if you're doing it because you want to impress the people around you. Never question your intuition. Your body knows better than your mind. But yeah, I spent many years just wanting to be cool. Again, what does that mean? Being cool. Our definition of words are always going to change. And my definition of being cool now is fully embracing who you are. Go into any room that you want to go into. Talk to whoever you want to talk to. Be loud and expressive about the things that you like and that you think are cool. Anyone that has the courage to be themselves, I find that incredibly cool. And look, we still live in society, and there are certain rules that you need to follow if you want to, I don't know if saying succeed at the game is the right term, but I can't think of anything else right now. We live in this society matrix system, and there are very definitive things that you can do to excel at the game. And you can do those things. I still do those things. Like wanting to be attractive, making sure that I go to the gym, making sure that I take care of my skin and, my style is cool. These are all ways that I show myself love. But at the end of the day, I do know that I care a lot about these things because I do want to be accepted by society and I want my life to be easier. There's caveats to everything. Just figure out the balance that works for you and what makes you feel good at the end of the day. So this past year has been an incredible time of me trying everything. everything that I can think of, honestly, that has ever interested me or that I've been afraid to do. And I had to work through a lot of shame. Shame's a heavy topic, but it doesn't have to be. We all feel shame, and we're all trying really hard to make our dreams come true and figure out, what we want out of this life. I think a big part of my shame came from the fact that I took so long to start exploring and trying things out. I would say I started truly living as myself at the age of 23. To me, it felt like I was so late. Like I had so many friends that, knew exactly what they wanted to do from the beginning. And they already built their communities around that passion. They already studied and learned the things that they would need to in order to succeed at whatever career they're trying to build. I just felt like I was such a late bloomer. But I actually think that's really badass now. Because the older you get, the scarier it gets. Truly. But I'm just really happy that I didn't wait any longer than that. I was like, 23 years? That's enough for me. And if you're older by the time you're watching this, I don't know, say you're like 40, 50, fuck it, 60, 70, I don't know. It doesn't matter how old you are or how much time has passed where you feel like, you regret the way that you spent your time in your life. It doesn't matter. You can start new tomorrow. Today. You could start new today. It is never too late. And I think the older you are, the cooler it is. Because again, it's really scary as you get older and you get more stuck in your ways. So that's an even bigger win. Life and the key to feeling good is really just how you frame things. If the younger version of me heard that by the age of 24, I would just be starting my creative career and I would be living back at home and that I never became all the things I wanted to become. I can't even list it off because it's too many things. I'm a dreamer like that. There's too many things. If I heard that when I was younger, honestly, I'd be sad that it took me this long. But if I actually knew how it felt to be in this position now, I think I'd be really excited and happy. Because the way that I feel now is I feel like I've gone everywhere that I could go in this amount of time. And with everything that I've experienced, the good and the bad, I am still the same. And I know that would make younger me so happy because I grew up having this massive fear that I was going to change for the worse. And that comes from receiving a lot of negative reinforcement growing up and being labeled this or that. I grew up hearing a lot of negative labels about myself. And I also grew up seeing a lot of people in my household carry a lot of resentment and anger and so much shame. So much. And I was really scared that that's what growing up meant. I was really scared that the more life I would experience, the more jaded, hardened, and closed off I would become. I'm only 24 years old and I've already beat my greatest fear. I have no fear that I'm going to change for the worse because I've experienced some really terrible things in life. I know you have too. However old you are watching this. Pain is pain. And the worst that's happened to you is the worst thing that's happened to you. With everything that I've experienced, all the people that have left me feeling abandoned, hurt, rejected, taken advantage of, I am still a hopeful, fucking pure-hearted human being. I'm not perfect. I'm not 100% pure-hearted. I am quite evil in a lot of ways, but life happens, things happen, but I'm proud of who I am, and I don't have any massive regrets. So, I already beat one of my biggest fears. I know I'm gonna have to keep on beating this fear as life goes on, but with everything that life and my reaction to life has proven to me, I'm feeling pretty confident. Let's be real though, There were plenty of moments in my life where I was completely lost and leading myself into dark corners that I should not have been in. And this happens for so many reasons. This is our first time living, and there is no lit up guided path for us to follow. You just have to follow your gut and hope that you step in the right places. And every time that I've fallen off the path, it's felt like you're just stuck in a riptide and it's just pounding against you and you're trying to get up, but the waves are so fucking strong. You bump your head, you scrape your knees. It's scary getting stuck in the riptide. But I always find my way back. And finding your way back, to me, looks like spending time alone and coming back to my own energy. Because people are portals and you can get sucked in really fast. And you're not always gonna know how a relationship or a friendship, a work relationship is gonna turn out. But the older you get and the more experience you have falling off the path and getting stuck in the waves, the faster and more easily you'll be able to figure out when you need to leave someone's portal and go back to your own home. I had planned out the next 6 months of my life. I was going to be traveling, working with people. It sounded like the absolute dream. Like everything that I have worked hard for is paying off. And, a team is being built. We're going to do such amazing things. I can't wait. But I got this crazy, intense feeling that I needed to go home. That and some bad omens I was receiving from fortunes. That's another story, but I just had this overwhelming sensation that I had to go home. And I felt insane for literally 2 weeks. Like I could not understand why I felt like I needed to go home so badly when everything was lined up and planned perfectly for me to continue exploring and just like balling out, essentially. Making videos, hanging out with people, traveling, seeing the world. I kept saying, it's not logical, like something's wrong with me. But then I came home. I canceled everything. And since being home, I just got washed with this overwhelming feeling that this is exactly where I was meant to be right now. I've learned to stick to my gut and do what I need to do for myself, because even if I did follow through with the plan, I knew this feeling wasn't going to go away, and anything that I would have created or experienced would have been tainted. I would have been stuck in this weird middle place, and I was not going to do that to the people that I was going to travel with or myself. I think it's always better to brace yourself and accept the fact that you're going to have to disappoint people to make the best decision for yourself. Because in the long run, it's better for all parties involved. I say this all the time. If we all knew how to respect and love ourselves first, the world would be a much better place. Because when you self-sacrifice and you don't know how to have clear boundaries and make decisions that actually feel aligned with what you need, you start resenting people. And all the memories that you create get tainted, and it's just a shitty time. It's just a shitty time for everyone. I grew up with people that were extremely self-sacrificing and quite literally lived their entire lives for others. I'm talking about my grandparents. They did so much for everybody else, and they lived with the bare minimum. They ate last. They always ate last. And although they did amazing things that I know they would not take back, all the people that they've helped, all the lives that they've changed, I know they wouldn't change a thing, but watching them eat last my entire life and seeing how that compounded into a lot of resentment and pain in their later years taught me I can't do that. It's a hard pill to swallow, but people do not respect you for all the things that you do for them. People respect you and love you as much as you respect and love yourself. Because everything is energy. Everything. With all the hunger that they experienced for themselves so that others could eat, it created a very dark and confusing energy that obviously is going to be hard for anyone to be around. I learned how to choose myself. And if you're in a place in your life where you're still really struggling with boundaries and you don't know how to choose yourself yet, I highly recommend you isolate for a time and you learn to spend time alone with yourself so that all the chatter can die down and you can finally hear your own voice again and what that voice is telling you. You'll learn a lot in that time. Learn how to choose yourself at the end of the day. Have the courage to disappoint others and choose yourself. When you finally learn to live from a place of self-respect and self-love, everything around you just starts to bloom. You see life in more vivid colors, your relationships get better, you're having more fun at work. Guys, my camera died. That was like 4 hours ago, but I'm back. The message is still alive inside of me. Let's cap this off by saying, your inner world is a direct reflection of your outer world. I repeat, your inner world is a direct reflection of your outer world. So if you love yourself, the world's gonna love you back. Trust me. Trust me, if I could tell you one thing, it is that. I know I told you a lot of things. Also, I know my energy is much different. I was feeling very calm and zen when I was making that. I got many moods, many sides to me. I'm just a Scorpio. Anyways, I think that's it. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with me if you stayed this long. I am constantly going to try out new formats, new framing for the messages that I want to share, and I'm probably going to change the podcast name again, let's be honest. Do it as many times as you need to. Change your life, pivot your career, get a new hairdo, as many times as you see fit, because you got one life, baby. And the chances that you're going to throw something on the wall and it's going to stick on that first go, not very likely. Keep on going, keep on applying yourself, and when it clicks, it clicks. Yeah. All right, that's it. I love you. Have a good night. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.